Tell me, so you are a prison officer. You were a prison officer.
Yes,
Tell
I
me
was.
where and what that involved.
So, prison officer, I started in the private sector, prison in Salford, HMP Forest Bank. Worked there just under 4 years. I did enjoy my time there. I didn't know about prisons when I started there. So, like any job, what you see is, you adapt to that. I took a year out to work with children. Then I went to work at the infamous Strangeways, or HMP Manchester, as people would like you to call it. I worked there 11 years. That was 10 years on the landings and then 11 months on the sick before I got finished.
11 months on what?
On the sick. I got injured in an incident. Mental health took a big hit, very angry. The prison service doesn't really look after people. In fact, it doesn't at all. I got finished with, it was called anxiety state, which is probably right. I would say there was a lot of anger there. Not depressed, not looking to take my own life or anything like that. I was just angry. I was being treated and a lot of things that I'd seen. So, yeah, that's...
How did you get injured?
How did I get injured? It was a restraint. There was 2 lads with me. I'd just gone on to B wing. There was a lad that I knew from A wing, which is where I've been working 3 weeks. He wasn't happy, kicked off, took him to the floor. I injured my shoulder. We then take him under restraint to the segregation unit. Anyone in prison, if there's an incident, will get taken to a segregation unit. Might not be there a long time, cooling down period. Might return to their own wing or another residential wing. When I got there, some senior managers and that, they're all around this lad, talking to him. I'm stood with my 2 colleagues. One's at his back. He's white. He was an ex-squaddy, good lad. And the other lad, just a couple of weeks earlier, he'd come onto my wing and he looked like he was going to burst in tears. Took him in the office end of the wing. Just poured everything out, stressed, taking antidepressants, which I would imagine a lot of prison officers are. He was just in a bad place. I thought he was going to have an heart attack, me. So there's 3 of us there. I've injured my shoulder. One lad's injured his back. My other mate, he's not in a good place. And I'm looking, nobody's paying us attention. Nobody asked how we were. When I first started in that job, yeah, there'd be somebody there. There'd be a senior officer, which is in uniform, prison manager, principal officer. Somebody would be there, you're all right, take 5, go and get a Bruce. None of that. Just chatted for like maybe 20 minutes, then returned to my place of work, injured.
It's a bloody hard job. What makes one become a prison officer?
Me? I've been called out in past for saying this, but the reason I joined, I spent like 20 odd years in engineering in Sheffield, born and bred Sheffield lad. Got made redundant quite a few times. Tough gig engineering, dirty, odd, some dangerous jobs, long hour culture. I just wanted, something permanent with maybe a pension at the end of it, something I could work to, looking to retirement. I didn't go in there, like a lot of people say, wanting to make a difference or change people's lives, that sort of thing. Very cliched. I just wanted secure employment and maybe a pension at the end of it.
It was just a job, I suppose. Was it a bit of a baptism of fire when you got in there? Was it a bit harder than you thought?
Yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, right? There's a lot of times I enjoyed it. Sadly, you might have a good week. If there's a bad incident at the end of that week, you only remember the bad incident. But I remember sitting at Forest Bank, that was my first private sector prison, for my interview. So I'm in the car park looking at the walls. I was absolutely, my backside's twitching, adrenaline. I'm going to have to fight people when I get in there. What's it going to be like? Oh, it terrified me. I really was. And when I started on my training course, there was 24 of us, which was quite a big training course. you know, half the people on there had no idea. I don't know what they thought they were going into. You know, I've been around a bit, worked on the doors and that in Sheffield, played rugby, I'd had my scraps growing up, got some life experience, travelled. There were people on that really young who just had no idea. So yeah, baptism of fire, I would say quite definitely. In fact, the first time we went into the prison, we're in civilian clothes, all of us, there used to be what they call Main Street. So you had a wing. A lot of wings are built sort of in a flower shape.
Right.
You have a centre, the wings are off shot.
Right.
So when they come off them wings, they come into the centre. And then on your way, there's a walkway called Main Street.
Main Street.
Main Street. It's just the main walkway,
All right.
you know, to get to the workshops, reception, all the things that you deal with. A lad walked straight up to me. We're all stood at the end of it. Right in my face. Yeah. Wait till you get in here. You know.
As a prisoner.
Oh yeah. Straight in my face, nose to nose.
How does that make you feel?
You know, what do you do? How do you react? See, the thing about a prison officer, the difficult thing is you don't know how to react to anything. You don't know what you should be doing. Should I have punched him in the face? I butted him, you know, backed off. I just stood there and looked at him. I didn't know what to say. But when I looked round, there was a crowd of us, obviously. Then everyone was sort of like, you know, pretending that they weren't there sort of thing. So
91% watching Heretics clips are not subscribed. Quick favor, hit subscribe. Free, takes 2 seconds, and helps us question everything together.